Nephilim are mentioned only twice in the Bible. They're mentioned in Genesis 6:4 and Numbers 13:33, right? That's the only two times they appear in the Bible. And neither chapter names any type of individual Nephilim whatsoever. However, I do have some names, and I'll get to that and tell you what their names really were as we go along here. But they are basically described collectively now as mighty men of old. So when you're reading the Bible or you're reading anything and you see the term mighty men of old or men of renown, they're referring to the Nephilim. The word Nephilim only appears twice in the Bible itself, okay? But they're talking about the same thing. That's important to remember. Genesis 6:4 and Numbers 13:33, right? And basically they're the giants. This is the straight up way to just go ahead and simplify it to the lowest common denominator. Nephilim, men of renown, mighty men of old. They're all giants, right? And when you cross-reference that with the book of Enoch, again, the book of Enoch was taken out of the Bible. I don't know when. Some people will tell you it's at the Council of Messina, but it's in the Ethiopian Bible, which is 600 years older than the King James Bible. But the book Enoch was removed, so they try to tell you that it's non-canonical, but it is canonical, 100%. And it's very extremely influential. The book of Enoch was taken out of the Bible, but you can also find several passages in the Bible that reference the book of Enoch. Make it make sense. And so what happened is that when the Watchers came down, they're the fallen angels, what we talked about last week. If you haven't seen last week's episode, just go through this or leave this video now, go watch last week's episode, then come back and watch this video. Either one will make it make sense as we go, right? Now, the Watchers are the 200 angels that left the sons of God, sons of man, that left their post, right? And they came down, and they were led by Semjaja. We talked about him last week. He's going to be a key player in tonight's episode as well. He lusted for our women. Our women are beautiful. American chicks are beautiful. Earthly women are beautiful. This angel wanted them. They came down. They took them as wives. And when they took these women as wives, they had children. And these children they born were the Nephilim. The Nephilim are basically half angel, half human beings, right? And that was never, ever meant to happen. And so what happened is that these Nephilim, or basically I'm just going to refer to them as, this giant offspring themselves, they became tyrannical in their power. Their fathers were very proud of them. And I'll get to that in a second, man. All the fathers became very proud of them, right? And I don't want to jump too far ahead, but that just gives you the rough framework of what we're going to be talking to tonight, man. Now, from a biblical standpoint, giants are often, and I couldn't find any exceptions whatsoever, linked to the Nephilim lineage. We get named giants such as these now in the Bible. Now, these are what they call post-diluvian, or after the flood, basically, giants, right? These are their names, right? You have Ankh, who was the ancestor of Anakim. And then you had the sons of Ankh, right? Which was Ahim, Shesaiah, Talmel. Then you had Og, which was king of Bashan, Goliath of Gath, the most notable giant in there, but he also had some brothers. Lahim, brother of Goliath, and other Rephaim giants, right? I always have a hard time saying that word, man. But the Bible never explicitly calls these individuals Nephilim. I'm reading from my notes here because I want to make sure I get this right for you guys. But many scholars and theologians believe they represent post-flood Nephilim descendant bloodlines. So basically, they do. If you want to see these actual stories, the Book of Kings in the Bible talks about how they came into, when I think it was Jacob first came into the land, they encountered these giants. It was Og and all these other guys. They fought Ankh, all these other guys. They fought the giants. And then the most famous story in the Bible is David killing Goliath. But it doesn't tell you that Goliath had like 3 brothers, right? And those 3 brothers seeked revenge on David. And David had mighty men with him. That's a whole nother thing that we should get into. There's a good book back there. It's covered up right now for the Christmas decorations that get into it. But David had mighty men, the mighty men of David. David had a little squad of Nephilim himself, right? And some of them were actually half man, half lion. It's true. I'm not making this up. The Bible, they went very hard to take the supernatural aspects out of the Bible. And I think that they're regretting that now. And they probably should start trying to put it back. But they had amazing things going on in the Bible as well. But David had mighty men himself, right? And he had his own little crew of Nephilim, right? And his little crew went out and killed the other 3 brothers, or 4 brothers, I think it was, of, Goliath. But enough of that, man. That's a whole nother story. If you guys want me to get into that, dig into that, send me an email or just leave it in the comments, and I'll talk about David and his mighty men and how he had a group of little, little Nephilim soldiers with him as well.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.